It is time, once again, to lock your doors, shut your windows, strap yourself into your favorite comfy chair, and tune out and tune into The Naked Zombie.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Naked Zombie. I'm your host, Brad Scott, and tonight we are celebrating the Nights of Nights, the night that makes us all our skin crawl and go all gooey and goosebumpy, Halloween. And yes, join me in the Halloween special of The Naked Zombie tonight. Well, technically this is recorded on a Thursday night, but in America it's now Halloween, but we had it last night, and I'm getting confusing myself once again. I have Liam.
How are you tonight?
And good. And Wadsy?
I am awesome.
He is awesome. Awesome Wadsy, we call him now. Hello, gentlemen. How are we tonight?
Excellent.
Awesome.
So, and
Awesome.
we've even got Dia de los Muertos today. So, Day of the Dead anyway. So
That's right,
Day of the Dead.
Day. That is a very special day. And the reason why we're doing the special Halloween show tonight, because for the last week, the Naked Zombie boys have been flat stick. Seriously, I am so tired.
Busy monkeys.
Busy monkeys. Trying to put it out there to the world, but having fun doing it at the same time. Anyway, we're going to talk about our two special events we had in the last week. One of them was last Saturday, which was Bellevue, Homestead.
That's the one.
Yeah, it was brilliant. And also last night, St. Helena Island, Australia's most penal settlement colony thingy that all murders and horrible things happened. Nasty people went. Nasty. In an island out in Moreton Bay, and we got to go there last night, which was just incredible. So
Dead flat water.
on the a bit choppy on the way there.
Yeah.
Way
Coming
back,
back,
it was like glass,
Yeah.
and then it
Full
was
Werewolves.
yeah, that too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, full moon. We got over to the jetty, I think, about 7:30.
Yeah.
And as we hopped off the boat, right on the jetty, the moon came up over the top of the mangroves and was absolutely blood red. So it's
Whoa.
even more
It
special.
sort of gave it that sort of, we're in a bad place.
Did your photographer get a photo of the blood red moon?
No, unfortunately he didn't, because when it doesn't come up real well, unless you really know what you're doing with the camera, and I'm still training the young fella. He did a good job though.
He did.
He did a good job, and thank you. What's his name again?
Andrea.
Aaron.
Aaron.
Brad?
Andrew.
Yeah,
Andrew.
that's right.
Yeah, it's Andrew. Yeah, hey Andrew, listen to the show because you're working tonight.
And he
And-
gets to do it now forevermore.
Yeah, and you will. That's what you get. Working retail. Also, okay, guys, what we're going to do tonight, we were going to talk about a few things tonight. We were going to talk about some of the experiences that we had, especially at Bellevue Homestead. Now, bit of history about Bellevue. We originally, at the beginning of the week, I put up the mystery house. The main reason is because this place has never, ever been checked out.
That's right. Complete virgin territory.
Virgin territory. And that's what was special
Long
to
time
us.
for all of us.
I don't know. Still trying to work out how I got two kids. But don't tell the
We've
wife.
got a cure for that now.
No sock jokes, please. Anyway, so what we did is we got invited to go along to Bellevue Homestead as part of the radio show, because we were standing in a place that was close to 170 years old. That's how mind-blowing. When you walk through these places and you actually walk in the same footsteps that someone walked 170 years ago, and you know it because you can see the grooves in the floor, like in the dance room and all the rest of it, and stand in the old mud hut, which was the kitchen, where all hell broke loose while we were on our own. And you missed all of that, Wadsy. I'd say you went... we warned Wadsy weeks ago. I said, don't forget, we've got this big thing on. Yeah, I remember. Oh, I got to go, boys. 5 o'clock, I've got a hot date. So
I did have a hot date.
he
too.
did have a hot
It was
date,
great night.
but the sad thing is, he left his two mates to go on a hot date when he could have been out investigating us,
Could have been out pooping his pants.
like we were. Seriously,
Rubbish.
no.
Absolute rubbish.
Fine, be that way. I'll just have a sob in the corner. So anyway, so we're going to talk about that first, and we're going to talk about St. Helena Island, which was just incredible as well. Now, Bellevue Homestead, I'm going to let Bug Lugs over here give you a bit of a rundown on it first, and tell you a bit of the history about the place, and then we're going to talk about different events and stuff like that. So you want to take it away, mate, because you're the man who knows the stuff.
Well, Bellevue, it dates right back to the 1840s in its original form, which was literally only just a slab hut. And then eventually evolved over many, many decades, right up until the early 1900s, where it became the huge homestead that it is now. But originally purchased by James Taylor, who's a very, very important pioneer, who's settled right through Toowoomba, very influential businessman, very heavily into politics up that way as well. And it was purchased, the property originally, for his son, George Condamine Taylor. Now, George Condamine Taylor ended up marrying Edith, the daughter of essentially the couple that were living in Newstead House at the time, and they actually own Newstead House, another very, very influential family. So it was sort of a bit of a merger of two very influential pioneering families, and the two of them took up residence originally what was known as Wivenhoe Station, right out where Wivenhoe Dam now sits. And then over the years, George Condamine Taylor passed away in the very late 1800s, and the property was handed over to Charles Lumley Hill, essentially to be the executor of the estate, and he remarried Edith Taylor at that time, and she became Edith Maud Lumley Hill, and that couple continued to live there until Charles Lumley Hill passed away about a decade later in the house as well. And once Edith had passed away, a few years after that, essentially the house went up for sale. The property was broken up and it was purchased again by her daughter, and continued on in the family for quite a bit of time. Unfortunately, it went right up until the mid-1970s, when it was decided that the Wivenhoe Dam would be built as a result of the major flooding that Brisbane had in the 74 floods. And very luckily, the National Trust actually picked the site up and was able to cut the house in half and move it about 7 kilometres away to higher ground where it wouldn't be flooded. And then the National Trust took over for about 20 odd years, and it's only been since 2006 it was actually put up for sale by the National Trust and was purchased as a private residence. And that was John and Laurel that we went out and met, who are the owners
people.
Now. Wonderful people.
Oh, so nice.
And allowed us to go through their home, and really accommodating, told us all the history of the house, and gave us a fully guided tour through the house, and let us
run amok,
check it out for ourselves.
Yeah, so. They literally said, off you go, you do what you need to do, and when you're finished, come and see us. And that's what it was like. It was like, okay. And it was brilliant. They just opened their doors and their heart stores and said, go on, boys. No, check it out. But the information we got from John especially, he went over every inch of that house.
Yeah,
he
amazing.
Knew every single part of that house.
Right down to the finest architectural details. And
it was just like, I mean, I was just gobsmacked with the amount of information. I know it was his house, but you got to remember,
he's researched a fair bit himself.
Oh, he has done a lot of research with that place.
Even
and
to know the dates of the architecture, changes in the architecture, dates and years that
talking about the windows and the doors, all the stuff you wouldn't even think about, that the changes that were made.
Even telling us about the wallpaper that
the wallpaper too.
1890s wallpaper that when it came time to renovate the house, and they really were desperate to try and match it as closely as possible, and they managed to track down the exact company that was still working or still running in London that had printed the original wallpaper, and the company actually reset all their machines and reprinted the exact wallpaper that had been put in there 100 years previously.
Wow.
That's so much effort.
I mean, the lengths that they've gone to renovate, like National Trust and still maintain it now underneath John and Laurel is just phenomenal.
I mean, and they had a multitude of musical instruments, a harpsichord of all things. I mean, they had a harpsichord in there. The dance room was just brilliant. And when you go down into the kitchen area and stuff like that, and we'll tell you about the kitchen in a minute because we had an interesting time there. And yeah, it was just absolutely mind blowing. I cannot thank him personally enough, and to actually be invited to go and wasn't it wonderful?
It was brilliant. It was just a nice, really nice house, and they just made it extra special because they're so warm and opening.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And there's never been any ghost tours there. There's never been anything like that. And how about old
Thelma?
Thelma, yeah. How about Thurman? And she'd been, what, 20-odd years?
So 20 years, I think almost about 15 or so underneath National Trust as one of their guides.
Yeah.
And, has continued on for the last 6 years helping out John and Laurel, so have coffees there on an afternoon.
Yeah.
So, 20 years, 19 to 20 years worth of history with the house as well.
And the stories she had from people past and present.
That's right. It's amazing stories.
And the urban legends about
So,
that.
Are you going to just type them up or wait for the
video.
DVD to come out?
That's the thing. This is what we're getting on to next. Now, we're not going to give too much away tonight. We're going to tell you our experience and stuff like that. But
Is it going to be in the movie theatre or in the $2 park?
no, it's just going to be on. It's just going to be on the Naked Zombie website.
Oh, okay.
It's not
so
a.
make it to hard print.
No, God no.
Oh.
God no.
Gold class in years, I reckon.
Yeah.
A, I don't have that much time, and B, I just.
Don't think it's that good.
I think it's great, but I just don't think it's.
Not gold class material.
Oh God, just.
He said it, not me.
No, it's just to show people what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not going to. It isn't. It is not going to be a ghost hunting show. It is not going to be anything like out there. It's not meant for that. It's just going on the
It's not
website.
gonna be like Monte Cristo.
Hey,
It's not going to be like Monte Cristo.
no,
It's not going to be a full-on
no.
calling for ghosts or anything like that.
No, it's not. It's the Monte Cristo has a vast history of being haunted and stuff like that, and many people have been through there, and a lot of people picked up some great stuff. But to step foot into a place that had never had anyone in there before doing what we did. But we spent a lot of time learning about the place first. We spent a lot of time going up with John about the history, the amount of research
Yep.
Liam's done on it, and I've basically what I've done. This is what's going to happen. I'm in the process of putting together, like I did for the zombie walk. It's just a video, right? There's no special effects. There's no anything. All it is just basically us going through the house, getting a bit of a tour, speaking to the people there, and showing what we went through. Right, so and there were some funny moments in it too. Like I refused to be interviewed next to the dolls. Oh, I cracked up the biggest stink about it because he just kept going to all these dolls. So come and sit over here. No, but there's a little thing on the website now, not on the website, but on the Facebook fan site that people can go to and watch it. It's also on the YouTube channel. It's only like a 3-minute coming soon type thing.
Oh, that's the coming soon one.
Yeah, they're coming soon. Just to give you a bit of an idea. You know, we do have fun with it. You know, we're not there to be boring as batshit. We're there to have an adventure, and that's what it was for us. And what we're trying to do is look. It's not going to be put on TV. It's not going in the picture theatres. It's not this. It's not that. It's not any of that. All it is just us documenting our stuff, so people can see what we do. And that's it. And they can only watch it on the Naked Zombie website. And if they wish, I'll put them on DVD, and they can pay for the cost of the DVD and the postage. That's what it comes down to. If they want to have, but they can watch it for free on the website anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's all it is. So I don't want people to think that we're trying to start up a TV show. No, we're a radio show.
Exactly.
We're a radio show, but we just
Too
want
ugly
to...
for a TV show.
Damn straight. But it's just want to show people what we do and how much fun we have doing it. We don't look at it as ghost hunting. We look at it as a big geeky adventure, if you know what I mean, and just exploring these places and that. So, yes, there will be coming out soon. Mind you, like I said, I work full-time and I'll get around to it when I get to it. So I'm not going to rush it through or push it through. I'll put it up when I'm ready to, because I am no inclinations of having to push it through for anybody. So, but when it's up, people will know and they can watch it from there.
Sounds good.
Can we talk about what happened in the kitchen?
Yeah, go on. Go on.
Dude.
Tell me. Because I took a video of the kitchen.
Oh, you did.
Yes.
You did.
I did a 360 view.
And I'll put that all in there. So I've got a lot of footage and it took 3 days to download all the footage off my camera alone.
How much do you guys take?
Lots.
We took a fair whack. It was...
And a lot of it was like, oh, God. And it took 3 days to get it all onto my Mac. And it's like, well, now I'm going to have to spend a month putting it together. Seriously, but I'll get through it. I mean, look, it's not going to be anything fancy. It's just going to be something for people to see. You know, and they know it. Our sense of humour is very much like out when we get.
What happened in the kitchen?
Oh, sorry, was I running off track
Yes.
again? Oh, Liam, you tell the story, man, and I'll just giggle and carry on in between you're telling it.
Oh, yeah, as long as you pipe in with your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I'll pipe in, don't worry about that.
I
I
think,
nearly piped out that night.
where did it all start? I think we headed to the kitchen pretty much straight up.
away,
It
because that was the oldest part of the house. That was the original part,
Yeah.
the
So,
mud
and I
hut
think,
and that.
there were a lot of stories about, weird and wonderful things that were going on. Had gone on there for the last couple of decades,
Mm-hmm.
and bad feelings that people who'd worked at the site were getting around there. So,
And put us
sort
over,
of-
didn't, just quickly on that, the original caretaker would shut the door off and would not go down there.
Yeah, we were told, when they had National Trust there and were having their board meetings,
Yeah.
the caretaker would shut the door and lock that entire wing of the house off and wouldn't let anyone go down that way, like for the entire duration of the meeting.
They weren't
Did
holding the
not-
meeting down there.
No.
No.
He was just too freaked
Yeah,
out.
did
to
not like that
even go
section at
down
all.
and give him coffee or something.
Wow.
He just freaked him out totally, and I know why. We've got a fair idea why. Keep going, dude.
But yeah, we decided to go down there and we put the camera on and started to do a bit of an EVP session at the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah.
Just
Because
to
there's two big tables.
Yeah, next to each other.
Next to
Yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
Yeah, just to start proceedings off. And I think, how long did we make it into the EVP set? About 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And already we got this really queer wailing sound that was clearly not any animal outside or...
No, it was actually up the
Okay.
hallway by the sounds of it. It was wailing. It wasn't an animal. It was, to us, it sounded pretty human.
Yeah.
Like someone was in pain,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. But it was just audible to us. And we're sort of looking at each other going, what the hell? we were looking at each other going, I think I got that on video too. It was like,
Yeah.
what the hell was that? So that freaked us out a little bit. So we'll keep going with
Yeah, so I think
we're
we
troopers.
continued for about 10 or 15 minutes
Yeah.
and decided that we'd sit down and have a listen back through the
Well,
digital
so
recorder.
I stopped the camera at this
Yeah.
stage too, because it wasn't doing it. It's just sort of stationary. So I thought I'd switch it off, save a bit of battery life. All we're doing, we're not walking around with a film crew. We've just got one portable, half decent handy cam,
Yeah.
and that's what we're using. That's all we're using with the light. So and that's what we use. So I thought I'd save a bit of battery. So I turned everything so we could listen to the. Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, we turned the camera off, the microphone unit for the camera off, the lights on the top of the camera off, so the entire unit was off, no power running through it at all. And we pressed play on the digital recorder and managed to get all of 15 or 20 seconds in, and in this sort of half light in this little room that we were sitting in, there was this almighty crack bang.
It was like a mini explosion. We both jumped about 6 feet up in the air, looking at you going, what the was that? And same thing again. And yeah, it was just...
Yeah,
words cannot
directly
describe
from the
it.
camera,
And
only
directly from
like
the camera.
2 meters away from us, and
Yeah.
it was loud, like enough to make you jump out of your seat.
We did. We literally jumped out of our seats because it was dead quiet. We're in the
Yeah.
middle of the bush and nowhere. In a small town where there's you don't hear anything. So you get this almighty. You weren't expecting it.
No.
Like people expect probably footsteps or something like
Yeah.
that. Like creaking. No, we got an explosion coming from the camera and go, what the hell?
Yeah.
I
The
thought,
camera still works.
this is a funny thing.
It was literally like there'd been some kind of like electromagnetic pulse or something that had hit the camera, and I was seriously waiting for smoke to start pouring out of the
Bellowing
camera
out of it, yeah.
because after the bang and we'd sort of got the big first shock, there were just really loud crackling coming from the camera, like it was about to burst into flames.
the camera was actually crackling. It was making that like static electricity
Yep.
sound. Yeah, that
Yep.
it was.
Yeah, like
we actually
rustling
got
a chip
recorded. It.
packet.
We actually got sound on the camera from it. This is how weird this is.
This is it. We were waiting for smoke and
And
flame to
flame.
come out.
So
And
even though the camera wasn't switched on, you got sound.
well,
Yeah.
we
Or the
flicked.
explosion?
Unfortunately, we didn't get the explosion because it was all
No.
turned off. But we flicked the camera on, and it kicked over as if
worked
nothing
straight
had
away.
happened.
But as we're talking, we could hear this crackling sound.
Mm.
The camera was crackling. It's like it was being jarred with
Microwave.
electricity.
Yep.
Yeah, like someone was
Like someone hitting with a cattle prod or a taser.
cattle prod. Yeah, and it was catching out. But we actually caught that sound on the camera. That the was sitting looking and going, "What the hell is this?" And it's
Yeah.
crackling away, and I'm going, "This is not cool," but it gets better.
Oh,
This is
do
good.
tell.
So, yeah, I think it crackled for about 5 minutes,
Yeah.
like on and off, but
Yeah.
it's still quite audibly. It was still quite loud with this crackling, and then I think with the footsteps next.
The footstep, but you can see us on camera, and this is the best part because we're in a really dark room, and I've just got this big light on top, so you got to get fairly close to it.
Yep.
And so when people watch the video, they can see I've had to up the gain a bit on it. It looks a bit grainy, but just so you can see us. But in the normal parts, it looks all right. But so we're right up against the camera, and we're standing there, and you watch us. I'm going, do you hear that? And he says, "Is that footsteps?" And we sort of you watch it. It's on film. We turn around at the same time. We're looking at the door behind us because you can hear it on the camera. This coming up down the hallway.
Yeah.
And I'm going, what the? I was like, well, there's just the two of us. Like, John and his wife were like, this house is huge. It's massive. And they were in another...
U-shaped house.
It's a U-shaped house. So
Yeah.
they were way across the other side.
At
Nowhere
the time,
near us.
John's wife was out.
Yeah, she was out in
and
the
it was only
movies,
John
that's right.
watching. I think he was watching a James Bond
movie or something,
at the
yeah.
complete other end of the house, which is a fair
It's a fair
distance
hike
from where we were.
It's not just walk in the next room. No, you literally have to go through the whole house, and there's a lot of rooms.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're listening to hearing this creaking noise coming through. I'm going, dude, there's someone in here with us because it stopped.
Yep.
Yeah, you just get that feeling, and we sort of kept looking behind us because we just had, people get that sense of being watched. It was
Yep.
like that, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Both of us were reacting to it. It wasn't like we're feeding off each other because you could see us. Everything we're doing was at the same time. It was like
Yeah.
watching a mirror image of ourselves. We're going, looking back, looking forward, looking back. I'm doing a visual here. It doesn't work for radio. I'm looking back, looking back. Oh, and we're going, oh, this is not cool. Then what happened?
Then,
But
because
we're asking about the man in the hat.
we were...
That's what started
So
this.
I thought the man was out in the balcony.
No,
The veranda. Front veranda.
Yeah, but he'd actually, I think his auto had been seen in the
He's
kitchen
been
area.
seen around the kitchen area and
Because-
that hall that runs down in
Yeah.
front of the kitchen area
Yeah.
as
The
well.
man that
So
had the guy that died.
Drowned.
Drowned,
Yeah,
yeah.
because what he was doing, because there was a dry site, as it were, he was actually,
His condiments.
condiments were, he was
actually
filled,
not condiments.
yeah, condiments, so it was alcohol.
Yeah.
Dry site and all they had him, but he didn't show up. So he was, he drowned on the dam.
Yep.
And so we're asking about, because he'd been seen quite a lot in the house. So
Yeah.
this big guy with a hat type thing, real bushy type thing. So we're asking about that, did you fall off? The story is he fell off his horse, hit his head and drowned, basically right near the dam. They found him.
It was the river, I thought.
The river,
Yeah, well, the river at that stage, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they found him, and anyway, it's so we asked her. So what was it like? We're asking
You asked
questions.
this guy,
The man
You're
had.
saying
This was
in the
before everything went wrong.
I was going to say, just out of interest,
Yeah.
do you want me to read it? I've got the original newspaper article.
Yeah, read
from
out the
where-
news of people going,
where
"Tell
he
us what
was
happened next."
Actually,
Yeah.
when he drowned.
This is the actual copy of the newspaper. The details of the guy in the man in the hat, we call him, because we've actually got a full history backlock here of everything from newspaper articles right through to people, owners, deaths, everything, certificates that Leon's managed to rustle up. So he'll just give you a bit of a. There you go.
Okay,
You got
it's
it?
just a bit of
Yeah,
a
this is from
bit
the
of an
newspaper
overview.
article itself.
So, and when we were out there and talking to everyone, there was quite a bit of history concerning this one story, and there's a little bit of hearsay, but it reverts back to an actual event that occurred at the Homestead in 1918. And the newspaper article from the Brisbane Courier in 1918 says that in the Courier of January 10, a news item appeared stating that the police at Esk had informed headquarters in Brisbane that they had received a call from Bellevue Station to the effect that an elderly man, whose name was not known, had been missing for some time. Acting Sergeant Fitzgibbon of Esk has now furnished a report to headquarters which unfolds the story of the man's disappearance and death by drowning. The report states that Richard Keeley arrived at Bellevue Station near the Esk railway line on January the 7th in charge of Mrs. Lumley Hill's racehorse King Cleo from Eastern Stables at Bouval. Keeley appears to have been drinking heavily. During the night or early in the morning of the next day, the station hands were awakened by cries of help from the swamp near the men's headquarters. Kelly was in the swamp up to his neck. He was brought out, given a change of clothing and a drink of hot coffee, and put to bed again. Early in the morning, he was seen near the hut by the Chinese gardener and was going in the direction of Biggs Crossing along the main road. About a mile from the station, he passed Mr. Thomas Loughran and said good day to him. Later, he was seen by a lad named Vincent Conroy about 3 miles from the station near the junction of a creek and the Brisbane River. Conroy spoke to Kelly, but the latter ran away. Conroy reported the matter to Mr. Colin Hill of Bellevue Station, who immediately dispatched a black boy and a station hand to bring the man back to the station. They returned without finding him. Their hands were turned out for a search, and Mrs. Lumley Hill communicated with the police by telephone. Acting Sergeant Fitzgibbon arrived on the scene on the 9th, and Constable Carmody, having got there on the previous evening. Mr. Colin Hill, the Black Boys, Stanley Bell and others assisted in the search, and grappling irons were used to drag the creek and the river. The body was discovered in the river by a party in a boat on January 10, and the next day was buried in the cemetery grounds near Bellevue Station. So he was recovered 3 days later. Unfortunately, that cemetery that was next to the house is now somewhere underneath Wivenhoe Dam. It's been completely flooded. So
that they didn't. They just
didn't take the headstones out.
No. They just
flooded
it. Basically, there's houses and everything under there.
Yeah, they were desperate just to remove the house, and there were a lot of outbuildings still that were left, in situ on the site that all went underwater. So
that's just it's cool. But so we were asking about the man in the hat, and this is
you're
a guy.
talking about this in the kitchen.
Yeah,
we were. This
is the thing. We were saying, like, did you have too much to drink type thing, and that's why do you feel bad? You went that way. And we're asking specifically about this guy. Can you give us some sort of information side? The camera blows up, right?
Again?
No, this is the first time. The camera, mighty huge explosion coming. So we didn't know what that was. And then we had the footsteps, and what really freaked us out.
Well, this is, another one of the most incredible
things. So you're
things.
still asking questions at this stage?
No, we're sort of like crapping ourselves at this stage.
This was the point where we had two doors in, like along one wall, and we were watching one door. And
I'm watching, we're sort of watching the other one. So we're sort of
standing right in front of another door with our backs turned to it, and there was a distinct feeling, especially with the footsteps, that something had come into the room.
Yeah, and it stopped. And we heard it come in.
Yeah, you feel the hackles on the back of your neck stand up like something was just behind us and had come through the door. So I think just straight off the bat, because of the big light unit that we had on top of the camera, it's got like a rotary wheel to turn the luminosity up and down.
So we had it all the way up because the room is dark, the walls are quite dark, and we need as much light as possible just so we could film, because we had to get fairly close to the camera to get any footage. Next minute.
Well, this is the part where we said if there's something in the room with us, given that it's this rotary wheel, quite easy to turn down, can you play with the switch? And I think there was a slight delay, and there was a tiny little flicker of the light.
Yeah,
and Brad said, "Did you see that? Did that light just flicker?" And all of a sudden, it pulsed like twice as bright.
Bright as what it could go. It actually got so bright, but you can actually see we're standing there, but because it's such a dark room and our face is illuminated, you can see our faces get like really bright. Because we're watching the light, it just goes like boom, like this, and then flickers up and down like this.
And we're going like 3 or 4 times. But
what the?
I mean, like somebody had like supercharged it because it was already turned to maximum.
That's a weird thing. So unless it was
electricity there.
Yeah, well, we don't know. Well, there was no. We had the only source of power on the whole friggin' thing was this camera, and that's hooked into a battery, not a friggin' PowerPoint. It was like.
Well, this is the thing. There's no sort of. I mean, we had like the lamp that was sitting on the side, but we had there was an extension cord that ran through just to give the lamp, in the corner of the room power.
Yeah, there's nothing in this place, and so our lights just going munya. Can you actually see this on film? It's actually going bright and so, but it doesn't. It gets weirder, in a way.
More.
Oh, mate, you have
but
no
wait,
idea.
There's more.
Where's the steak knives?
Well, that's the thing. No, so we decided, no, bugger this. We're going to go for a little while, only because I was crying. wasn't crying, just sobbing. Anyway, so we're both pretty much freaked out by now. No, I've been doing this for 20 odd years, and very rarely do I get freaked out. I mean, I see stuff, and that doesn't worry me, but it was so unexpected what was happening. It was like, this is not making sense.
So have you heard any more footprints from... They stopped outside the door, and then you think something's come into the room and
and the light's just gone. It's got so bright, and we actually got this on film. This is the beautiful thing about it. We're standing there going, did you see that? Because our faces are going boom,
and I think it's important to point out too, we've been filming by that stage for 4 odd hours. 4 hours,
and the light had never done anything.
And that light had not missed a beat the entire time.
It wasn't flickering, wasn't doing anything. That's the thing, it was not doing anything. It was just pumping away like it always does. So anyway, we decided we'd go and we let the static camera run and stuff like that. So we let the camera run, just we walk out there, we get a bit of fresh air and a drink and that. And coming back checking the footage, you can hear it. You hear footsteps. but there's no one about. We're outside the building. We're over in the friggin' paddock. You know the paddock where the
where
vineyard
you've got
is?
the big bull ring.
The bull
out
ring
the
is?
front.
Oh, the horse training.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're out there.
But mind you, still watching back to like the only sort of entryway
True.
into that wing.
Yeah,
So-
we could see the whole thing.
and no one went in or out. You
No.
know, and we were the only other two on the side at the time. Only the three of us, and John was happily watching his James Bond
Bond
movie.
movies.
So-
Yeah, and that's the thing. So that was so we reviewed that back anyway. So I will keep going with this. So there's also a story, and we thought, okay, well we've checked this room out. We left a static camera run there, and we sort of went around and left a voice recorder in that. We didn't pick up anything on the voice recorder. We had the yell. We had like the yelling. We had that sort of thing. We had the footsteps. Then we had the explosion and the light. And this is cool. I thought, okay, this is nothing more is going to happen now. I think it's done. And so we left that room, just left it alone.
Yep.
And we'd so check out the other part of the house where that maid was supposedly murdered in the corner.
Yep.
But the original guy died in the bedroom.
He did. So Charles Lumley-Hill had passed away from
in that
malaria.
room.
I didn't hear you in this story. So which bedroom was that in? Where
This
was
is the main bedroom.
So
This is
remember the main
you know where the,
bedroom,
where the
opposite
bath
the
is.
room?
You know where the bath on the
bath is?
floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tin bath.
Okay. Yes.
In that corner, and you'll show you footage of that when people get to see it. And this is why we're so excited about showing you, is because it's just us talking as things are happening.
Yeah.
In that corner, it was supposed to be a maid was murdered.
Right.
Right in that corner.
Yep.
So we thought, we'd, just
No, I
have.
heard film or something about the bath being tipped over. And
Yeah, bath. This is where the bath has been tipped over and
curtains
it
pulled
pulled
off.
off the rails and all
She'd
sorts of
found
weird
that.
crap
Yeah.
going on. So we started doing things there. Like flickered once, I think it was.
Yeah.
It had the same thing. It had sort of like zoop type thing and,
Yeah.
and it come on as quickly as it went off. Oh, that's pretty cool. Then so we go over to the bed where John Lumley died. Well, I just thought, no, bugger this. We had enough light in the room, so I took the light off the camera.
Mm-hmm.
I put the light on the bed, set the camera up on the bed, and we're just talking. Oh, Mr. Lumley, do you mind us being in your room like this? Next minute, the light starts going, it starts flickering differently though, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's a total different flicker to
It was
light.
like someone was turning it down and back up, just
Not increasing
whistling
the power.
Yeah,
It
like
was-
sort of
no.
just playing with the toggle, with the
Yeah,
rotary
that toggle,
wheel.
like just flicking the toggle up and down, like because you can increase or lower the brightness of it. It
Yep.
was like that. It was totally different to the light scenario we
So it
had.
wasn't oversupply.
It was just
Yeah,
like someone was
sort of
just
turning it down and
just
up and down
weird
and up.
crap like that. And so we walk out there going, "Oh man, this is like we had nothing the entire time." But we weren't paying it. We were paying more attention to John and the tour he was given. I mean, I was oblivious to anything else around me because I was more interested in concentrating on what John was saying, and he's taking us through and everything like that. And it's not till we got left alone, you start to. Oh, by the way, which prince used the toilet to again?
It was Prince Edward.
Prince Edward's, and I got to have a leak where Prince Edward had a leak.
Well, it was the Prince of Wales.
Well, he was
No, it's
originally
just-
the Prince of Wales, but then
Edward
abdicated the throne.
and
so-
then Edward come over.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so and that's what I mean. And I got to leak in a royal toilet.
on the,
And
on the
then
royal throne.
Then the royal throne, and then I pulled the royal flush.
Very good.
So I felt very honoured to actually play and sit in the same toilet as a former king.
Yes.
Oh, what do you expect?
Oh.
This is the braid you're talking about.
Nothing less.
So that's cool. We got all that on film. Not me going to the toilet, but we got that. We got the toilet on film and everything.
That's the extras.
That's the extras.
outtakes on
That's-
DVD.
And
that's
you were
later
about
on.
my memory stick with photos on it. My God.
These are for adults only.
Yeah.
And so we went into the other rooms and checked it out, and that was probably about it. But it was just, and I'm glad we caught it on film. Look, I'm not saying it's not the greatest bit of paranormal evidence ever. It's not, nowhere near it.
Although you're missing one more.
Which one was that one? Oh, mate, so much happened that night.
We went back to the kitchen.
Oh, we did too. Oh god, yeah, he dragged me back to the kitchen. I wasn't that keen.
kicking and screaming.
I was getting done. I'll stay out of here. I'm right. I've had enough for the night.
And I turned the lights off.
And we
which you
turned
weren't
both lights off.
Much impressed with.
Yeah, I was fine.
But we went back in. We decided, because I think we'd done everything that we needed to do in the house.
Yep.
But just from what had happened earlier in the night, I think we were both just really intrigued
What
as
was
to
going
what
on?
the hell was going on in
Yeah,
this
we're
whole
both sort of-
section.
This is when you got to walk down the corridor past other rooms.
Yes.
Left
You
was,
walk past
right was open, wasn't it? The
You,
right was open.
you know the dance hall, where the harpsichord was?
No, I didn't see that.
Well, you remember where the royal toilet was?
Yeah, so
Did they
And-
build
and
it
you
out the
walk
side?
into-
you walk out through Prince William's room.
Yeah, Prince William's room
Prince
goes-
Wales room.
Yeah.
And you go out onto a veranda.
Yep.
Yes.
then
And you just keep straight down. That's
and
it.
you go down like 1 or 2 stairs into that laundry section. It had lots of pots and pans hanging up in the hallway and a wash tub.
Yep.
And then you had that
Then you had the
other
kitchen on the
room.
left-hand side.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
kitchen off the side. This is our, sort of ground zero for the night. But we decided to go back and just give it 10 more minutes and turn all the lights off. See if we could make it a bit cozy in there for whatever it was that was hanging around that section of the
Brokeback
house.
Mountain here. That's his
why I
idea of
wanted to
cozy.
leave.
That's why you wanted to go.
That's why I wanted to leave. I knew it had happened. I knew it, and I didn't want to be part of it.
I'd make a great horsey. Keep going.
You've been ridden well.
Yeah.
So we decided, we didn't set the camera up this time, but just decided to do 10 more minutes
Of
of
the voice, just EVP stuff. Yeah,
just on a digital.
Just no.
voice.
Well, look, seriously, dude. I mean, the
camera
battery.
freaked you out.
No. I mean, seriously, we'd been filming for hours.
Yeah.
And it's not a big camera, and I don't have a lot of juice in it. It was like nearly dying.
Yeah.
And I just had to get enough just to do the thing, with John and say
Yeah.
thanks, everything. Keep going.
So we sat there and asked questions for probably about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And nothing of any major
No,
consequence at all until all of a sudden, out of the blue, this really full-on aroma of like rich rolling tobacco.
Yeah, rolled
and
into
not,
the room.
Not like smoked rolling, like
Fresh.
unsmoked, fresh.
Yeah.
But really rich. Like it was
It's like
really
someone
strong.
was just
like someone, it was
just
literally
rolling it next to you. You know how you get
Yeah.
some tobacco, and of course back then tobacco didn't have all the chemicals and crap it has in days, and it had a lot of the smell and flavours. Then it's like someone smoking a
Cigar.
yeah,
Cigar.
it was like that, wasn't it? But it
Yeah.
was really rich, and I was like, we both smelt it at the same time,
Yeah.
going, you smell that? It's because your senses. Because this is the thing, just quickly, because we didn't go in with all the gizmos and gadgets. We only went in there with a voice recorder, a video camera, and a still camera.
Yep.
That's it. So our senses were running overtime because we were so busy looking around at our location. Like, we were checking everything out. We're standing there in this room, the two of us, nearly back to back, going, yeah, this is unreal, because you're just flooded with information,
Yep.
Stuff you'd miss if you spend all your time walking around with a millimeter or something, or a K2 meter or
Yep.
something. You'd miss all this.
And I mean, this is, we're sitting there in the dark as well with this really strong smell of tobacco. And that lingered for probably 30 or 40 seconds until it
Yeah.
finally petered away. And we asked a couple more questions and nothing, and decided to wrap it up. Now, one of the last questions that we'd asked, there was a light that was fitted in the roof, and it had like the old
Yeah, the
pull
pull
string
down,
lights.
pull down string.
So, seeing that it was hanging there nice and still, this whole room's closed up. There's no breeze,
Nothing.
no nothing. I thought, maybe it's an idea. We'll ask,
trigger
if
object.
something's
Yeah,
hit,
a trigger object,
can
yeah.
you blow on the string or give it a
Or
give it a
touch
tap?
it and something.
Because it's
Yeah.
only the slightest movement's going to make the string move.
Oh, exactly.
Nothing at all.
No.
So we said thank you very much, and we hopped up and walked to the door. And this is sort of my second almost poop your pants moment. When I got to the door,
I forgot about
and
this.
Brad's like, dude, turn around,
Turn around, now.
look. And I immediately thought, shit, something's about
someone's
to
standing.
grab me from behind. And
Or Brad's
spun
pooped his
around.
pants.
Yeah.
And this string that we've been trying to get to move for a minute or two is swinging back and forward and back and forward.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Like-
just hanging there, just doing this.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
it literally, it was moving at least 2 or 3 centimeters
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
base.
Each-
That's
like
that's
each
quite
way.
a bit
Yeah.
for a string that literally was doing nothing all night.
That's more than a strong breeze.
That's more than a stroke. You literally have to go with all your
Yeah.
breath, get to move a little bit because it's a heavy cord,
And it'll
Yeah.
go once.
and that's it.
Yeah.
No, it was just rocking. I'm doing the finger thing here, and it's the
Yeah, great
string.
for radio.
Oh yeah, doing it for radio, but this string, it literally is just sitting there rocking like this. Nice, but it's not
man.
like, you know how you get wind on something and it'll
I'm
circulate.
feeling creepy just
Yeah,
listening to it.
yeah, I've got goosebumps. I had
Yeah.
goosebumps. Like you can actually see the goosebumps when we recorded the video side of it. I put my arm up because you can tell I was freaking out because I had all the goosebumps and all the hairs on my arms, weren't they?
Yeah.
Everything was standing up on end.
Yeah.
But this string, dude,
I'm
no,
tingling.
no swear of lie, you'd either have to knock it or do something,
Yeah.
but Liam walked straight past it to me, but I missed it by at least a good 2 foot. And there's no way
Yeah.
body, air.
No.
When you get a breeze on something, usually that'll circulate or
Yeah.
circles or follows. No, it was rocking.
It was like a pendulum.
The
like just
pendulum
back
rock.
and
It was
forward.
like someone's just hanging on the end of it and looked taut.
Yeah.
Someone's just hanging in and just moving backwards and forwards. Okay, smart asses. Now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm going, dude, dude. I said dude about 6,000 times that night. I was just like freaking out the whole time.
So it's literally like, we'd gotten up and Brad had already gone through the door. I'd gotten just to the door and it was like sort of, hey, don't, I'm still here. Like, we're not, not done playing yet. Like,
not playing with us. And literally they were playing with us. It's like, you know how a lot of the bushies, because we're Australian, we've lived around the bush and country, you know what bushies are like. They'll toy with you and get a bite out of you. This is what this thing was doing. It was toying with us and it was trying to get us react. And we were reacting. It was having a ball.
Yeah.
It was having more fun with us than we were having with it. Trust me. Because we were too busy crapping ourselves. We couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
But,
because we had the digital the digital recorder going, and I'd set up digital record on my phone as well and set the phone on the next table across just to see if we could get any kind of cross verification, which would have been fantastic. We had gotten something on one and nothing at all on the other, which would have been really good. Unfortunately, we didn't. But when after we'd sort of settled from the string incident, while I was still standing just inside the room,
your phone.
I went to turn the recorder off on the phone.
Yeah.
Now, I've got a Nokia N8, which it's not the kind of phone, or tablet that you use one of those styluses on. It's actually, you've got to have like a thermal for touching it with your finger. It just point blank refused. It would not turn the tape recorder off. And, like another sort of toying thing, like, I'm not done talking yet. You'll leave that turned on, thank you. And I could not do it. And played with it for like a minute. And Brad said, just out of curiosity, like, let's leave the room and see what happens. Walked out of the room, hit the stop button, and it stopped first time. And I must have pressed that stop button about.
He was sitting there pressing it like this. It won't stop. It won't stop. You could actually hear the voice. We've got the voice recording of that.
Yep.
That's the thing. Everything we've talked about, we've got some sort of recording of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I wouldn't say it's the most mind-blowing bit of paranormal evidence, but we were there.
Yeah.
And you could see our expressions on our faces, and you get an idea what we went through that night. You get some idea, you know what I mean? Like, it's not earth-shattering or anything like that, but our experience itself was friggin' damn cool. The amount of in this one room, this whole homestead, and look, honestly, we're going back. And we're going to do a proper.
I'm coming.
Yeah, and you're going to stay
I'm
this time.
Stay this time.
Yeah, no, and the thing we're going to, we're lucky enough that they were lovely people, but we showed them a lot of respect.
Yep.
And a lot of, we were on there.
Guests there, and we took off.
Yeah, and we were their guests, and we didn't leave any rubbish. We were very.
Except your poop smell.
Yeah, well, that's understandable. I mean, look, in all the years I've done investigating, I think that would have to rate up right up there with the most, because not only it was me there, but I had Liam there, and actually had a half decent camera and voice recorder filming it and recording it, and we both see our expressions. You both hear it in our voices. We were like, "What the hell's going on?"
So going back to Mrs. Lumley's room. What happened in there?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I get sidetracked.
With you guys, not with the maid that got murdered there.
No. Well, the maid. So we're asking and say. So we put the light on the bed.
Yep.
Right, and we just see if that.
That's right.
That's it. It's up and down. And
but that
like
was on perfectly on cue as well, because we'd had reactions from the light in the original, the original slab hut. We thought, well, maybe it'll work in here. So it was like, can you turn the light up and down? And on cue, perfectly, straight after we'd asked, the light started turning itself up and down.
But you can see where you're sort of, because we've got it sitting on the bed and they've got the camera back from the bed, you'd see if we're around it, touching it, playing with it, because there's heaps of viewing space around it type thing. And, it was just... Look, the people are going to see it, and they'll make up their own. Look, the only reason why we're doing put it on the website, we're going to do like a little doco thing of probably about half an hour, maybe to an hour, because we've got a lot of information, and it is more to do with the history of the place than anything. And the ghost stories and the experience we had is a sugar on top for us. So when I get around to it, I'm going to take my time so it's done right and looks nice. That when people watch it, they'll get to experience what we experience. Yeah. It's not us running around going, oh yeah, and that's why we're here, and all this other stuff. We're not doing that. It's just... We're having fun with each other. Yeah. But you know what we're like. If you listen to the show, we rubbish on each other constantly.
Yes.
Right? And we have fun with whatever we do. But you could see us going from being joking around to, oh crap. And you can't fake that.
No.
You can't. Not with me anyway, because you see it in my face, you see it in your hairs on my my hands on my arms, man, weren't they?
Yeah,
It was like
standing
dong.
end on end.
They were like poking. I'm doing the visual thing on the radio.
Yeah, you're great for
and
that,
you could
mate.
actually have my arm right up to the camera, and you can see all the goosebumps running up my arm. My hair's all standing up, and I'm freaking out by this stage. But I was loving it, freaking out. That's what I find exciting because it was exciting to us, and that's the thing. It was an adventure to us. It was a cool location, that lovely people, and they let us come in, and yeah, it was just mind blowing. And when I get the video up, people will see it for themselves and they'll see what experience. That's all. It's nothing flash. It's just what we experience.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Now, it is only going, and I can't state this enough, it is only going on the Naked Zombie website
Yep.
for people to see on there. You won't find it on YouTube. You won't find it on anything else but on the Naked Zombie website, and that's the way we're going to keep it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I
Yep.
can take my time.
Sorry?
Then I can take my time putting the rest of it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Type thing.
Yeah. No,
Cool. Well, I think we might go for quick. I think we'll leave people on that,
Yep.
on the
on the
Bellevue,
swinging cord.
on the swinging cord, and you'll actually get to hear. I'll put a lot of audio on the little doco. I'll put a lot of information. You'll get to see what we did.
So, and I think the doco will be fantastic because there's a whole history side behind it.
Yeah,
Like, we
as well,
spent
it's not just a
hours
ghost
with
hunt,
John going
yeah.
through all the history of the
Yeah.
house, but just as a sweetener, everyone's heard now what we experienced,
and they'll get to
and
actually
they'll
hear
actually
it
get
and
to
probably
see it and hear it, which
as
will be
well.
fantastic.
So I've got all the footage sitting on the computer now, and all the voice recordings. I'll get a few later.
Yep.
And that's thing, and that's what we're going to do. And it'll take our time to do it, and hopefully people will just get as much fun out of it as we will be in doing that. And it was a lot of fun to us. Anyway, before I get too carried, before we go on to St Helena Island tonight, our second little Halloween spectacular, as it were.
That's it.
We got to play the zombie apocalypse theory because we didn't do the show Tuesday night because basically we were just too busy running around getting our shit organised. Me and Liam were in constant phone calls, and also I'll tell you, we were in constant phone calls on that night, going 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock night, going yeah, we're doing this, we organised this, phone hockey
Yeah.
all night. And Wade from Ghost Tech. Geek Speak, good friend of ours, Wade from Geek Speak, was coming in the conversation because we've dragged him along to one of them. So now, playing for your listening pleasure, our favourite band of all time that the boys just rock out to. Please welcome Zombie Apocalypse Theory with their CD, The Pandemic Begins, with Save Us.
Da 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 da. Da 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 da
And that was Zombie Apocalypse Theory.
I thought you'd forgotten.
No, I didn't. I was just building up to it.
Oh, okay.
As you
I
do.
spoiled it, sorry.
Yeah, you did. It's just
You wanna try again?
No, it's right. We're done now.
Okay.
Anyway,
Someone better do it next time, like me.
during the music break, and we have our little chats, we actually showed Wadsy the footage.
Yes.
What's your because you weren't there for that part of it, and now you've seen the footage. Before we go into St Helena Island, what do you think?
I was tingling.
Yeah,
I was tingling.
it's pretty freaky, wasn't it?
It was. The flash was there, definitely there.
Yeah,
You could hear the static from the camera.
Yep.
It was pretty surreal.
Different, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like I said, it's just, you go to investigation and you get the odd little thing every now and then, but to actually get that, it was just, it was well worth.
Yeah, no, it was
exciting.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, it was cool.
Yeah,
Anyway, so people get to see that very soonish. I want to get some time on the weekends to put it all together and put it up on the website, and that's where you'll see it, and you can see what we went through and that, and it'll be quite cool. And also what we're going to show you as well is our little trip to St Helena Island. We've also got heaps of footage. We took a lot more cameras with us, only hand cameras, nothing big. We took a Sony night vision camera, which I had an eye illuminator on, because a lot of the interviews we did, you needed that because it was so free. We're in an island in the middle of Moreton Bay, and it was dark. So I took that. We got a lot of good footage off the JVC. We took the Sony, and I must thank Wade from Geek Speak. He drove all the way from Toowoomba just to meet us there and come over with us. Wade was brilliant, and he brought his camera, so I'll get some stuff off him eventually as well. But same thing again, we're going to show our boat trip over and our explore of the island. But we're lucky, like I said, it was real privilege to get a personal tour around the island on Halloween on a Wednesday night, middle of the working week, to experience this. And we had some...
Who took the tour? Who did the tour?
So Lauren Penny took the tour, and Lauren's, she's just an absolute powerhouse of information.
Yep.
Like everything that you could ever possibly want to know about St Helena and more, she's got it down pat.
Yeah, to a T. Yeah, she loves it. You hear the passion in her voice when she talks about it.
Yep.
How does the cruelty or the punishment on St Helena compare to other prison sites
Well,
around
I
Australia?
heard the
Was it
story
pretty
about
bad?
the hole.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
about
hole, for instance, was pretty
black-
horrific.
yeah.
Man, there is... Okay, think of it this way. The conditions weren't great.
No,
Yeah,
it's
most
an
prisons aren't, but you remember you're on an island.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of bad mosquitoes, a lot of
island. No
sandflies.
mosquitoes are good.
No, but you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the prisoners who were kept in these closed quarters and stuff like that only had really small windows up the top.
Yep.
So imagine this balmy summer night, especially in Queensland, and you're eaten alive by sandflies and mosquitoes. Yep. There was no way of getting away from them. They were segregated. There was a lot of murders. There was a lot of deaths happen on the island. There's, what'd you say, about 40-odd people in the cemetery
Well,
that we know.
57 in the cemetery. So
50, but there are probably... There'd have to be bodies scattered everywhere, that place.
Yeah.
You'd think
Well,
about
I mean,
it, man.
just
Hidden bodies.
prior.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
hidden
prior,
bodies
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Prior
I mean,
to
you
the
just
prison,
don't-
I mean, and you've got
Unfound
a quarantine station
Station.
there. You had a
Yep.
lot of ships, and like I was telling you last night, I've got a bit of a personal connection. Just my great-great-great-grandmother, and would be my great-great-aunt, are buried over there.
Yeah.
And they came over from the British Isles in 1851. I think it was on the Maria Somes. It was virtually the first ship to ever have a direct, journey to Brisbane. And she passed away in childbirth. Unfortunately, they overshot Moreton Bay, and I don't think the captain realised until he was off Fraser Island that he'd overshot Brisbane, and ended up having to turn around, but ran into a huge storm, and it took them a week to get back to Brisbane from Fraser Island, battling through this storm. She went into labour and passed away during childbirth.
And the baby died
And
too, didn't it?
baby
Yeah.
died as well, passed away, and unfortunately, given at that stage, Brisbane had only been open for free settlement for 9 years, and they
Yeah.
were petrified of any kind of diseases that could
Yeah.
be brought across. They were sort of fairly surreptitiously, smuggled off the ship and buried quite quickly on St Helena, so that when they made port and quarantine, there'd be no bodies on board
dead
that
bodies, yeah.
they would all be held up
Yeah.
because of.
Yeah.
They were dumped at sea.
We just don't know.
No.
That's the problem. A lot of records
So,
and anything
yeah.
like that probably weren't the best kept, if you know what I mean. But it is such a beautiful place. My God, at night it is just amazing. And we got to go around all the ruins. We got to see the mill, the flour mill.
Yep.
The flour
Oh,
mill.
sugar mill.
Oh, sugar mill, sorry.
Yeah, so processing cane
And you got to see actually inside the big halo. Oh,
Hello?
you got your mustard, chief. No, the silo. Sorry, I've just got
This
tired.
is
I've
what
had no
happens when
sleep
you're
for
out
days.
until like 2 a.m.
2 a.m. in the morning, yeah.
2 a.m. I eventually got home, and after we had a feed at McDonald's, and we were just shattered, and we were talking about this and that, because it was a pretty cool night. But we're going through places where people have walked before, and we've actually got great footage. Someone did this beautiful scale model. So people, and this is the thing, I mean, it's great to talk about it on the radio, but people won't get to see it. They won't get to hear the excitement until they see our excitement and doing this. And that's all we're doing this for. So we took lots of video. Now, guys, it's going to take me a little while to get it all up because, look, I'm not under any pressure to get it up any quicker than what I am. But as soon as I finish it, it will go up and you get to see it yourselves. But it was just the history. You walk through it and you're touching walls that were built by convicts and all this type
It's
of
an
thing.
amazing feeling.
Oh,
that
it's
you're
it's
touching-
weird, but it's
Yeah.
so... There wasn't a breath of wind.
Yeah.
It was so peaceful. And the story about the guy, they have these big wells on the island, and we didn't realise how big these wells were until we actually shone a torch down them. You couldn't even see the walls of these wells buried underground. They were friggin' massive.
Yeah, monumental. It had to, you look down this well.
It's probably
it
about
only looks-
3-story drop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's only
And
looks
it's
like a
you
small
can't.
well at the top. But
tiny
you look
little well
down-
at the top.
Yeah,
and
and it's a good 20 or 30 metres to the bottom of these big underground tanks. It's,
Yeah,
Been dug out.
and people have died down there.
Yeah.
You know, like one guy went to get water and they accidentally locked him in there because they climbed down to get the water and they found him feet first, basically, in the
committed
well.
Suicide,
Committed
and
suicide.
Thrown himself,
Down
jumped
the
in
well
feet
and
first
stuff.
down the well.
Yeah, I mean, all these stories and events that happened at that place, and we had a few weird events that happened. Nothing major, because really we were being escorted around the island.
Yeah.
It was a fantastic, because we want to learn the history of the place. I'd never been there before because I'm from Central Queensland. Oh, I wasn't lucky enough to be going to school in Brisbane, get sent on a bus as a kid and over a boat and take around and show them the place. So this was all new to me. But we were lucky enough that we were allowed to go into these places. You know, we were allowed to go in the museum part of it at night and stuff like this. And I walked in, there's a friggin' mannequin sitting there, and I just about crapped myself.
First thing straight in the door.
Oh, and I was the first one through the
It was
door.
like a doll, Brad.
This was a
big
life-size
doll.
human
A big
doll.
doll.
A big doll. And I'm going, oh, no, I can't deal with this. Anyway, and the
Did it have
whole...
eyes that were looking at you, Brad?
No, it had its head down, which made it worse. It was like, it was looking up past over me, his hairline. Anyway, so I'm sitting there going, oh, God, this is crapping me out. Anyway, so
Was
we
it
took a lot of
named
footage.
Brad?
Hey?
Was it named Brad?
Probably was, you know.
Yeah.
Or Susan. Susan, the male doll.
Would have been.
Well, that's another story for another time. That's for the adults only show. Anyway, so we're walking through, and we're going down these tracks and everything like this and around the island. And some of these buildings were massively long. Yeah, massively
How
long.
big is the island? I mean, I didn't think it was that
No,
big.
look, we walked it in.
I'm just trying to think. Off the
we
top of my head, I
walked
think
around
it's
the whole
about
friggin-
450 acres. I
Acres,
think.
yeah,
It's
we
a
walked.
rather large
Huge.
island.
Oh, yeah, but it's not huge.
Not huge.
Oh, well, it's
but-
still a decent size,
Yeah.
especially when you got a cane and a splint on your leg. That was fun all
Well,
night.
I mean,
trying-
you've got to walk about a kilometre from the jetty.
Jetty.
You know, by the time you get up into the compound,
Yeah.
you've walked a
Mate, the
good
jetty was
kilometre,
nearly a
so-
kilometre friggin' long. Trust me, I felt every step. Anyway, so we got to go around, but we had a few weird things happen that were really quite off-putting. It's really weird because at the moment it's very balmy here at the moment,
Yep.
but every now and then you just walk in this one big thick cold spot, but it would just sit there. It wasn't being blown around. You just walk in this and. Your head's on your neck, stand up on there, and you go, oh, that's, yeah, okay, keep walking. You set up a static camera where
Yep.
the old bakery was.
Yeah,
And
so-
I'm getting that footage off you later. And you tell the story.
Yeah, so we set up, like we did at Bellevue, we set up a static cam just with a bit of torch. Unfortunately, the section in the bakery, the light's not particularly flash because it's a fair jump from where the camera was set up to the other wall. However, when I set it up and sort of went in there with torches to begin with and noticed the ground was covered in this really thick weed, but it had all died off. And it was quite heavy weed. So to walk in there, it was, crunch, crunch as you walked in. And set up the camera. We allowed it to run for, I think it's about 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But for about a 2 to 3 minute period there, all you can hear is crunch, 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 crunch.
Like literally someone's walking around in the bakery.
Yeah.
That's what it's
And
like.
there is
But we're the
nothing
only ones on
footage
the
at
island.
all.
Yeah.
But you can clearly hear the footsteps of something walking, as if something had popped over to the bakery and was just checking out the camera and the lights that we'd set up.
Yeah, and we were it.
Yeah.
There was only us on the whole island.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so that's things like that get a bit,
scary, yeah.
get a bit,
It's not
following
like
us around.
You weren't there, but it's
Anyway, we
Yeah.
went up to we went to the sugar mill. Now, from the sugar mill, you walk down the road and through the paddock to where the cemetery is. And we went there and checked it. We got footage of all that as well, where the cemetery is. And anyway, you could actually see they left a static camera, and you could see the light shining from the static camera. So
This
now
one left in the bakery.
this one left on the bakery,
Yeah.
you could see a perfect
Oh,
little
this is when it was, we'd left it up at the sugar
sugar
mill.
mill up at the sugar, and you could actually see this perfect little light. It was the only light on the whole freaking place,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean. We could see it from where we were, and that's right. And every now and then you just sort of stand next to me and see it get blocked out. Like something's walked past it. Like, okay.
Although, do you know what the most bizarre part is? I crazily sat up until 4:30 this morning, going back through all the static
Yeah, I
footage.
know.
There is not a single second out of the 40-odd minutes that we shot in the sugar mill area where that light is obscured at all.
No.
But we saw it a couple of times down from the cemetery where the light would black out for a couple of seconds as if something was walking in front of it. So go figure.
Yeah, weird. Just
Yeah.
that's a good part for the naked weirdness. It was weird.
It was weird.
I mean, not saying it's paranormal, but it was weird.
Yeah,
yeah.
and I
It
mean,
just didn't make a lot of sense.
Where we'd set it up, it's where the mill is. For
Yeah.
anyone who's ever been to St Helena and knows the penal settlement there, it's quite a bit higher than where we were at the cemetery. So it's not obscured.
Something blowing in front of the camera, but it was dead
well,
still last night.
It was dead still,
Dead
but
still
it was
and
there
nothing
was
obscuring the
it
camera
at all
'cause
because
it's
we had a
quite high,
perfect
so-
view of the light.
Yeah, but if the wind was blowing.
Oh yeah, but
blow
the
it down.
trees were.
Yeah.
I mean, where it was sitting, this camera was sitting, it was no trees. There was no bushes. There was no plantation. Nothing.
A bird? An owl?
Could be. We don't know,
No.
but it looked like bird go.
Well, I mean, this is
Yeah.
the thing. I've gone through the footage, and where we had the light,
Yeah,
it
it's
was
like nothing blocked
right
it,
up
though.
against
No.
the side of
Yeah.
the camera, and nothing blocked it. I think I caught, and quite bizarrely too, for having because I'd set up it was a white light, an LED light next
Yeah.
to it. I think there's all of maybe 3 moths.
Yeah.
In 40 minutes, which is you'd expect on an island with
Yeah.
no power on, no natural light anywhere,
You'd think
that
there's
you'd
something
think
attracted to
every
it, yeah.
insect on that island would have been attracted to that one torch that was turned on.
Yeah, it
and
wasn't.
there's like 3 moths fly past it in 40 minutes.
What? It wasn't an orb.
Oh, it could have been.
Could be
Maybe
an orb.
I missed
That's orb. Definitely orb. I call shenanigans.
a winged orb.
a orb with wings.
Yes.
But no, that's the thing.
Butterfly orb.
Yeah, butterfly orb. That's lovely, lovely orb. And so that was it. So we checked the island out, and like I said, we got a lot of footage that we're going to put up soon, and people get to check it out where we went. And you got to check this place out, man. Seriously, out and going there at night.
Because they do hold night tours. Ghost tours.
Yeah,
hold
but
night.
they're
So yeah, Lauren is just about to get back into our
Yeah.
night tours again now, and I did one a couple of months ago, and they did it underneath the full moon.
Yep.
And I cannot recommend them strongly enough. They're
Yeah,
just
definitely.
brilliant, especially under a full moon too, because you've got a bit of that natural light filtering down, and it's and to have someone like Lauren running them as well, who
Yeah,
just knows
brilliant.
the island back to front.
We're going to put their details up because look, they took us across. They were absolutely amazing people to deal with.
So where'd you leave from?
We left from Hamilton.
Okay.
Yeah, so we met at Portside. So
Yeah.
we left from Hamilton there, and we went over. Great running the boat. The boat was excellent. And it was a bit choppy going out, but it was very manageable. I mean, and wouldn't faze anybody. Coming back, it was like glass.
Yeah.
Seriously, it was a really quick trip back.
Yep.
But it was beautiful. It was just this amazing place, amazing history. We had some. That was odd. They just decided to turn itself off and stop recording.
Well, what did Lauren say last night?
She said
had
stuff following-
experiences that things will follow
you home from there. Yeah.
So
Gee,
Oh,
guys.
thanks. Yeah. Oh, about the camera. Before look, we're really coming into the show tonight because we've got so much stuff to do. We've got to do then. So we had a little spiel on St. Helena. We'll talk more about it in the coming weeks. But we just want to talk about our cameras. Now, this is you're going to say, oh yeah, right, but no, this is weird. I made a comment early on during the night. I said my bloody camera my little Sony just turned itself on.
Yep.
And to turn it on, you literally got to push it and go click. And you actually physically got to put a bit of pressure in to
Yeah.
make it come on. And it goes,
So you can't knock it.
You
it's
can't
not
knock it on,
a
no.
bump
No.
thing. You don't.
No.
If you bump it, it won't turn itself.
Anyway,
on.
I thought, oh God, I've done something here. I must have, type
Yeah.
thing. So I let my cameras, whatever, turned it off. And we're standing at the cemetery just talking. And next minute, I had my hand sort of stretched, so it was nowhere near the thingo. He's standing behind me, and next minute he sees the switch come on, and the camera going ding.
Well, yeah, because I was standing right behind Brad, looking downwards, so
Yeah.
looking past, looking sort of over the top of his hand with the camera,
Yeah.
looking at the graves. So the camera was in full view, and your fingers were miles away from that power button.
And next minute it just goes, clicks itself on. It was like, oh no, not again. And then the actual my recording stopped. But you had the same thing with the
And then,
with the
5 minutes
the
later,
Nikon.
the
With
static camera,
Yep.
which we had turned off and sitting next to me, and all of a
turned
sudden
off, sitting next to him.
turned on. The
light
screen
flash,
lit up.
The flash popped up.
Yeah?
Sitting next to him.
Not even in his hand.
No,
No.
sitting.
Just sitting
Yeah.
on the grass
Yes,
next,
next to him. Next minute, the flash pop. You hear the click, pops up, and the
Yep.
camera turns itself on. So,
So-
and
so these guys
And
are
this
pretty
is,
clever.
and that wasn't a button. It's
you've
an
physically
actual
got to turn the
switch
switch
that
to
you've got
turn
to
it.
flick the
But-
switch
but
across.
what made it really odd is the fact that it's like a $3,000 DLSR Nikon. If you know what I mean, it's not a cheap ass bit of kit. I've had this camera for a long time, and it doesn't turn itself on. And it's sitting on the grass. Clock. And it comes on. The LED display comes on. We're going, oh, okay, this is enough. Time to go. I think they're ready to go. Then look, we had some weird experiences happen. It wasn't like we were creeped out because it's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
I'm sure in different events, but like I said, we were lucky. We got to go into areas that were roped off, basically. But the thing is, people got to realise we took months.
Yeah, this has been a long time in the making.
This has been a long time making.
You've been doing this for ages, talking about it for ages.
It's been planning. We had to get special permission from Parks, didn't we? Parks from, who else did we get?
So, yeah, but I mean, as far as teeing it up with Lauren and also Brendan, who's got the charter boat.
Yep, we had to tee all that up.
That's taken a while. And Roland Dowling from Parks as well, who's sort of the regional manager as well, to make sure that we had a green light and we had permission to go in and film and do what we needed to do.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we got permission. That's the thing. We just didn't hire a boat and go over. Hey,
big thanks to all those.
Oh,
guys.
big thanks to you have no idea. They actually made it, and big thanks to Liam because he did a lot of lead work on this one, as he does. But we had to get all this paperwork and all this other stuff. And that's why I didn't want to tell anyone about it before tonight, because it was like, what if it didn't come off? I didn't want to make a goose out of myself by claiming we're doing something. It never happened. You know what I mean? I just won't do that. You just look like a tool. So I actually waited until
it was final.
It was final.
Or you've done it.
We'd done it. Yeah. And that's the thing with me. I've done it. And then I'll put it up there. I won't sort of people know now we've taken footage. But it'll get up when I'm ready to put it up. And in between working and everything else I've got to do, it will go up. You know, that's just the way it is. And it's just going on the website. But that's our experience at St. Helena. We'll be going back. Again, I guarantee it, because I had such a ball last time, and the tour was just amazing. But also, we were fortunate. We had special permission to go in places that you just couldn't go to, that were, tour can take you, literally.
It's obviously dangerous, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Oh, not dangerous. It's more to do with... how do you explain it?
Oh, I guess, just ensuring that there's no sort of heavy traffic through those areas. Yeah. So if you were to take a normal tour, you wouldn't be able to sort of walk through the areas.
Leave only footsteps, take only pictures. That type of thing. Yes, it was a cool night.
It's got a little hippie on us.
We're going a hippie on you. Yeah, I'm going to hug a tree.
He's looking at the stars.
Well, that's it, guys. That's the show tonight. Like I said, I will get all the stuff up for everyone to watch. And a big thank you again for the Brisbane Zombie Walk. $55,000 was raised. Brisbane Zombie Walk, $55,000 was raised.
Haven't they got the EP ribbon?
Yeah, EP, bit of a rundown.
Yeah, so I can't remember the day. That's horrible. But yeah, Zombie Apocalypse Theory that we've been playing in the music brace. They've got the big EP launch coming up very shortly.
And I'll put that on the website, so people keep an eye out for that. I'll get up on the website shortly because the internet's down.
Is it?
I have bought a new modem, so it's coming. But yeah, so that's it. Big $55,000 was raised. Thank you to everyone
who huge amount
who participated in
I think nearly $30,000 more. I think $30,000 more than last year.
And there is a petition out there saying to get it back in the CBD. Because that's very important.
Not enough brains to eat in Victoria Park.
No, because everyone was dead basically. Can't chew on your own kind, as it were. But no, it was a fantastic event, and thank you to the organisers of that and the Brain Foundation, and congratulations on everyone who attended and helped raise that amount of money. We're always happy to lend assistance to any sort of good charity cause. We're always willing to plug it and get the information and come along if we can and be a part of it and film it all and get it up on the website for future events that may be coming up. And that's about it for me tonight. Liam, in closing, would you like to say anything?
I guess in closing, just looking forward to the next place that we get to
we've got more places to go.
So I'm going to have to give you a couple of weeks first to start going through this footage before I lump another one on top of it.
Don't forget, we've got Supernova this weekend. Not this weekend, the following weekend. Next weekend, Supernova. We will be there on a Saturday. Maybe Sunday, depends how we go. Not Friday, but we've got a couple of meter passes, so we're running around Supernova, checking out the cool stuff that I'm really into and we're all into. So if you see us at Supernova in Brisbane at the O&A Showgrounds,
I think it is.
Yeah, O&A Showgrounds, come and say hello. Don't be strangers. We don't bite much, and we've got other stuff coming up too that I will release once we've done it.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm such a big fan of just keep my mouth shut until I've actually done it, and then I'll get it out there. Can't build. Also, listen, just quickly, Darkness Falls in Africa. India. Sorry, I'm thinking about Darkness Falls in India. The guys didn't quite get there, but we've been assured that Attila is working on other ways to raise funds to get this going. Please, guys, if you hear about it coming back, please. It's such a great thing to get involved with because these guys are superstars in my eyes, and whatever they do just blows anything out of the water because they are so good at it and they really care about their project.
Yeah, Attila's really got his head screwed on.
He really does.
He's going to make something, put something together that's going to be
just
well and truly worthwhile watching.
So if you hear they haven't dropped it, it is still going. Unfortunately, they didn't quite raise enough funds, so we're going to do what we can on our side of things to help them out because we really believe in what they're doing. Also, Don Mears will be coming on the show next couple of weeks from the Spirit Level, so I'm getting Don on. I've already spoke to him. Also, our good friends from Geek Speak, Wade and Bobby Mann will be coming on the show for a bit of a chat with us, what's coming up, what they're doing, and that sort of stuff. And we've got a lot of emails from people who listen to the show and would like to, and been recommended to us. So if you do know of anyone who you think would make a great interview on the Naked Zombie, please don't be shy. Send us the details and we'll give them out, work at something out. We'll get in contact with them or they'll get in contact with us. Tell your friends about the show because we do it for you guys, and hit that like button and tell your mates. That's about it, really. And keep checking out the Naked Zombie website because that's where the action happens, most of it. And thanks to Facebook, who just don't. Every post doesn't always. Yeah, they changed the post system now, don't they?
Yeah, with their only 15% see every post.
I'm not paying $50 every time I want to post something. That's what it works out to be. If I've got something cool to tell the world on Naked Zombie, I'm not paying $50 to do it.
No.
Put it around all of the fans, $50 a post. So it's ridiculous.
Get stuffed. I'm sorry. I love yous, but I don't love yous all that much because we do the show for free.
Apparently, the other so many $1 billion they make every year in advertising is not enough.
Isn't enough? No. Also, don't forget if you can watch the Brisbane Zombie Walk, but I have actually got a copy of the DVD. For sale, you can buy that go to the merchandise page. You'll find, and I'll send you out
along with the t-shirts
on there, as well as you can buy the DVD of the Zombie Walk if you want something for yourself, a bit of what's the word? Bit of nostalgia, or something like that. You can pick it up as well. Hey,
light entertainment.
Now.
I mean, we caught a lot of people walking past.
Yeah, we got a lot of people. But
have a look if you're in there. Buy it.
We're only charging $5 for that, plus I think it's $2.50 postage. Because literally, by the time I put buy the discs, buy the cover. I'm not printing up a fancy cover, just a basic cover. By the time I spend the $1 on each disc, it works out to be that. So it's just covering costs. So we're not making anything. It's just basic cover costs. If people want something, they can do it. So it's up to them. But they can watch it for free anyway, or they can buy a copy of the DVD they want to show their friends or something like that. So that's it from me. Wadsy, in closing.
The Zombie Acropolis Theory.
Yes.
EP launch.
Yes.
Saturday the 1st of December.
Saturday 1st?
1st of December.
So I'm sure the guys will get in touch with us, and they are coming on the show as well. Zombie Apocalypse will be coming live on the Naked Zombie.
Live.
Well, basically they'll be coming on the show because I'm rambling along. I thought, I'm going to get the guys in the studio. We're going to organise something. They're going to play acoustic set, do something with them, have a bit of fun with them in the show because I love their stuff. And is that about it this stage?
If it's on the net, it must be true.
And I'd like to thank everybody, especially my mum, who washed my underpants.
Can we go back to Bellevue and just say thanks, John, and the guys out there?
I was leading to that. I was just waiting for you to see if you'd jump in there.
I would, because I don't want to hear about your underpants.
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, like they need a change about 6 or 7.
Superman.
Actually, I'm going to send John the bill for my underpants from the bill. I'm going to send him the cleaning bill. But yes, thank you to John and his lovely wife,
John and Laurel
and
Thelma.
I'm tired.
Yep.
I haven't slept for 2 days. John. What's her name?
Laurel
and
I haven't slept for 5 days, but I usually sleep at night.
Yeah, stop it. Good on you. For having us And thank you very much to the to going out to St Helena.
Yeah, so big thank you to Lauren and Brendan for taking
us out and showing us around. Guys, we'll give you all a big plug on the website. You'll find their details up on the website in the weeks to come. So if you want to get in contact with them to organise something with them, get a tour or something like that, please don't hesitate. I'm sure they'd love your business.
That's it.
And it is a business, so don't forget that. And yeah, so that's it on my side of things. Have a good night, have a safe night, everyone. Don't forget to tune in to the next exciting episode that only happens on one channel, which is Coast to Coast. You'll find with
the host with the most.
So I'm thinking of actually a decent radio show. But I'd like to thank you everyone for tuning in Naked Zombie, and we will speak to you next week for Tuesday nights, The Naked Weirdness. Good night everyone, and have a good safe one. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.